Where else would you rather be on a Thursday in June, flaming June, than Royal Ascot? This is Gold Cup Day. Graham Cunningham for the Whirlpool in company, as usual, with Maddie Plale and Simon Mapletoft. No time to lose. Maddie, what are you looking forward to on Gold Cup Day?
I think it could be a big day for the French, Graham. I fancy a few of their runners, including Candelari in the Gold Cup. Group 1 winner for the first time last time. Just so much untapped potential with this horse. Can't wait to see him take on Illinois, Trawlerman and Co. in the big one.
You look very elegant, by the way. So do you, Simon Mapletoft. What are you looking forward to on Thursday?
Well, I think I've got a handicap good thing in the King George Merchant for the William Haggerty. Mightily impressive last time. He looks like he's laid out for this, and I don't think he'll disappoint.
The Merchant of Menace, I'm calling him. Well, let's get on, straight on with race 1. It is the Norfolk Stakes. 5 furlongs for high-quality 2-year-olds, 1,000 metres, of course. And significantly, keep an eye on the long shots here. Don't want to scare anyone who fancies the favourites. The last 4 winners of this have been priced at 14, 50, 150 and 12. So outsiders can win. Let's have a look down the card. Top of the shop. Maddie has already referenced the French challenge. Afjan looked very good at Sean T on his debut. Charles Darwin has looked aggressive, strong and high quality in a couple of wins in Ireland. Further down, First Legion has good quality form, but is he a 1,000-metre horse? London Boy comes here quickly after a Brighton debut. Naval Light represents last year's winning connections, and he showed bundles of promise first time out. Sandal Song in the same Wathdan Racing colours brings high-quality American promise. And number 16, Wise Approach, is a proven, smart Ascot performer. Let's get straight onto this. We have a couple of videos to look at. And Maddie Plale, I'll come to you with Sandal Song. This is Gulfstream. This is a strong, aggressive, sprinting American performance. But how will this American form translate to the stiff, straight course at Royal Ascot?
Yeah, that's the impossible question, isn't it, Graham? It's always tough to know. I often think the foreign horses, particularly the American horses, have a bit of a mountain to climb because these sort of tracks, these sort of conditions are not what they're used to. Nevertheless, it was a good performance, and George Weaver, he knows what the time of day is when it comes to bringing horses to Royal Ascot. Of course, he used to train Crimson Advocate, who won here a couple of years ago.
And James McDonald is clearly a strong booking. Another video we need to look at is Wise Approach, who came here in a pretty good race at Ascot. Same course, same distance as the Norfolk Stakes. Several winners in this race, but he just proved too strong for them.
He did, and got up late on trials day, finished full of running. Always like to see that, horses running through the line the way he did. A little bit disappointing, I think, at York last time on the back of such an encouraging performance, and I just think that brings him here with a little something to prove.
Yeah, I think he's a place chance, but I'd be surprised if he beats the horse I'm going to introduce now. This is Aidan O'Brien and Charles Darwin. Aidan's top quality 2-year-old, Albert Einstein, is lame. Charles Darwin could be the star of the show in his absence. He's won 2 races in Ireland, 1 over 5 furlongs, 1,000, 1 over 6 furlongs, 1,200. He was a very short price last time, guys, but he looked dominant, and his form is already good enough to take him close in a race like this, Murray.
Yes, he beat the filly at Naas, Cardiff by the Sea. I think that was a good performance. This horse has got great pedigree, being a brother to Blackbeard, yes. Of course. He was a multiple Group 1 winner, not at Royal Ascot. He finished 4th in the Coventry. But nevertheless, Charles Darwin is an early 2-year-old. He's going to be well prepped for this. He's going to know his job. I struggle to see him finishing out the top 4, Graham.
Agreed. He's drawn 15, Simon. I know you're looking a little wider. Recent history suggests you're wise to do that. Give me a couple other names you're looking forward to in the Norfolk.
Okay, well, I know that Carl Burke and the team are very bullish about their horse Naval Light, looking to follow up shareholders winning in the race last year. Just surprisingly a bit starstruck at Beverley on debut, considering that he's a breeze-up horse. He rather messed the start, but I think it's going to turn out to be a pretty good race. Carl hasn't felt the need for a second race prior to this with him. He's happy to come here fresh, so like him a lot. And another horse who messed the start as well at Beverley is at a massive price. This is Kevin Ryan's Amique, lovely son of Maymas. He had a bit of stalls training after the Beverley race because he did disappoint that day, and he certainly delivered the goods at Nottingham. It was a very impressive performance at Nottingham. Kevin Stott reigniting his association with Kevin on board, and Kevin knows how to win these 2-year-old races here at Ascot.
Afjan is a French raider with plenty of potential. We don't see many good quality French 2-year-olds here at Royal Ascot. this might be one.
Oh, I think he's very top class, Graham. He showed a red hot turn of foot at Shanty. Broke nicely, but then sort of settled further back in the field, was asked for his effort and just picked up like a real electric talent. I really like that form. I know Simon was saying he was slightly concerned about the ground, but he's by Memas, who tends to get all sorts. And a lot of people will remember his dam, Aljora. She was very highly rated also in these Al Shakab Racing Silks. I just think Afjan showed an awful lot of raw ability, and some might just discard him because they're not familiar with his form and they think he's a French raider, but don't take him off your lists.
Norfolk numbers, please, Simon.
Well, it's Naval Light for me, horse number 13, and for the placers, number 3, Charles Darwin, can't leave him out. Number 2, Amique, at a big price for Kevin Ryan. And number 7, First Legion, I think he'll be finishing strong in 4th.
Yeah, Graham, the French horse, number 1, Afjan, for me, he beat very well-touted Aga Khan favourites in that Shanty performance. Then we've got number 3, Charles Darwin, followed by 13, Naval Light, and 7, First Legion.
Charles Darwin, lots of scholars here. Charles Darwin, one of his famous sayings was, "The willing horse is always overworked." Charles Darwin, the equine version, is a willing, talented horse. He might have to work to win the Norfolk Stakes, but I think he can. 3, 1, 13 and 16 for me, and good luck in the Norfolk. Welcome back to a sunny Royal Ascot. Race 2 on Gold Cup Day is a famous handicap. This is for 3-year-olds. It's the King George V handicap. It's 1.5 miles, give or take, 2,400 metres. And if you're looking to do your form here, don't be worried about high-drawn horses. They have a very good record overall. Let's have a look at the runners and riders for the King George V. Masai Moon carries top weight, and he's a useful horse, fresh from a win. Serious contender likewise, terrific pedigree, and gritty last time. Sing as a Song is very, very progressive. He represents Rafe Beckett for Wathnan Racing. Merchant, much more of Merchant in a minute, but he could be very well treated. Gunship stacks up very well with Sing as a Song on Sandown form. Propose and Light as Air, 2 more progressive, useful Aidan O'Brien horses. And further down, Lightning Man, he's been progressing nicely, albeit over slightly shorter distances. I think we're all in this together, folks, as a famous politician once said. Maddie, talk to me about Merchant. He's rapidly on the up, and his win at York last time was striking.
Oh, it was absolutely striking, Graham. That's a good race. It's routinely a top affair. A horse called Al Kareem won it a couple of years ago. We've seen him winning Group 3's listed races galore since then, and regularly a producer of good horses. And in this race, Merchant just went through it so smoothly in the style of a really well-handicapped horse. Good, strong staying horse in second. Rahib, I think, is going to boost that form in time. Of course, he's up £8 in the handicap to a mark of 90, but that could just be scratching the surface with him.
Agreed. He's by Teofilo, Simon. As we know, those horses always get better with time and distance. And he went from being quite an immature-looking horse before then to York. He was super smooth, and the form from the 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th has been given a gilt-edged look.
I think he's done well for the win to this horse. He's up £8 for the win, and the win was over the same trip as today, but he's still on a very attractive mark. I thought the interesting thing about the Knavesmire performance was they rode him a little bit differently. They rode him a little bit more forward. Now, that might not be that easy from his high gate in 20, but as you say, Graham, it's historically not a bad place to be, and I think Tom Marquand will be trying to get into a fairly attacking position early in the race.
Yeah, you can read too much into future entries, but William Haggas doesn't throw Group 1 entries about lightly. And the fact that Merchant is entered in the Group 1 King George, Group 1 race back here in 5 or 6 weeks' time, that seems very significant. So lots of people are going to look at this horse and think, he is the one for me. We all think the same. So if Merchant's on top, Maddie, what about a 2nd, 3rd and 4th? But maybe just one horse in particular to concentrate on against Merchant.
Yeah, Merchant's now a 6-1 shot. I wouldn't be surprised if that price tumbles a little bit nearer to the off. We've got to give Aidan O'Brien, serious contender, a serious chance. He looked a real stayer on his last run. He's actually related to Cliffs of Moher, who ran a really good race in the Derby quite a few years ago now. And again, it looks one of those typical Aidan O'Brien horses that has a very good pedigree by Wootton Bassett and out of a Galileo mare. I'd expect this horse to just keep progressing as the season goes on.
What's the backup to Merchant, Simon?
Well, I think Serious Contender will be exactly that. I know you're fairly keen on Sing as a Song, Graham. So I'll just mention Boatswain here. I think a horse who could be on a decent mark of 94. Yeah, I know he's only running novice company so far for the Crisford team, but again, very shrewd outfit. Very keen to let him take his chance in this kind of race. I think he'll show improvement.
And with that, wrap up the numbers for the King George V, if you will.
Well, it's a big 8 for me here. Merchant to win it. For the places, number 5, Serious Contender, 6, Sing as a Song, and number 3, Boatswain.
Hopefully we can see another future Group 1 performer in this race, Graham. We've seen them in the past. It's 8 Merchant for me on top, followed by 5, 10 and 4.
Hello. I'm not sure the three of us have ever been so confident or united about one horse in a big handicap. But here we go. Merchant is not material for most of us. I think we'd expect him to be heavily backed and go extremely close. 8 Merchant, 6 Sing as a Song. He's getting better. 12 Light as Air has some headgear for the first time. He's been unlucky more than once. And 10 Goodship, who ties in closely with Sing as a Song on that Sandown form. But it's all about the Merchant in the King George V. Come on, the Merchant of Menace. Race 3, Gold Cup Day. It's a mile and a half, pretty much 2,400 metres. It's a Group 2 race for 3-year-old fillies. And it's a winnable race. Trends tell us you just look for Aidan and the Gosdens. Aidan O'Brien and John Gosden, and now with his son Thady, have won 9 of the last 11 renewals of this race. They're both represented again. Plenty others to note. Number 1 is Caspi Star, who's not super quick, but she grinds and stays very well, and she's in great form. 2, Catalina Del Carpio is unexposed. She's only had 2 runs, but she has looked a group race winner in waiting. Further down, Go Go Boots blew it. She didn't handle Epsom at all in the Oaks. But prior to that, she was only just behind number 10, Serenity Prayer, when the 2 of them were second and third behind the Oaks runner-up Whirl in the Musidora at York. Gosden's also represented with a couple of horses, Life is Beautiful and Understudy, both lightly raced. Start with you, Maddie. I think you like the same filly I do. It's Paddy Toomey, a very well-bred Lope de Vega filly, and she's got plenty of potential. Catalina Del Carpio.
Yeah, I really like her, Graham. I thought it was telling that they weren't confident on her debut. They thought of her as a filly who would develop throughout the season, yet he still very early on mentioned the Irish Oaks as a potential target. That speaks volumes that she is a quality filly. She was really eye-catching that day, just exploded away from the field and then lost very little in defeat last time in the Group 3 at Salsabelle Stakes. She was second and she was sort of trapped at a key stage and pulled off heels of other runners. So I think you can upgrade that performance. We've yet to see the best of her. As you said, this isn't probably the best Ribblesdale we've seen. She's best placed to take advantage.
Andrew Balling has a big, strong, progressive filly in Serenity Star, Simon.
So much to like about her, Graham. I thought for such an inexperienced filly, she ran a super race in the Musidora at York. She really finished it off in gritty fashion. She's out of a dam who was a group winner over 1 3/4 miles, so that bodes well for the step-up in trip here. But with that bit more experience under her girth, I think she's the one they're all going to beat.
Plenty of these horses are open to improvement. Serenity has only had the 2 runs. Likewise, Catalina Del Carpio. I'll just add a little more to the argument for her that Maddie made. The race she ran in, the Salsabelle last time, was an absolute dawdle. And the winner, we might take the long way, who's franked the form since, got a very soft lead. And I think with a better gallop to run at, we'll see the real Catalina Del Carpio, and she's got plenty of improvement in her. But let's wrap up this Ribblesdale. Serenity for you, Simon.
Yes, Serenity for me. I like Caspi Star as well. She's got something to prove on the ratings, but she was not that far behind Minnie Hawk, of course, in the Cheshire Oaks and was doing some good work in the closing stages. So 11 Serenity Prayer for me, and number 1 Caspi Star for the placings, along with number 9 Lady Vivian and number 2 Catalina Del Carpio.
Yeah, I think Catalina Del Carpio is going to turn out to be the best of these, Graham. She's on top for me, number 2. Followed by 9, Life is Beautiful. 2 second places behind 2 very good fillies in Kontiki and Falakea. That form surely looks strong. Followed by 10, Serenity Prayer, and 8, Lady Vivian. Notable that they've come for this race when they had handicap options. She could sneak a place.
Yeah, that's a good point about Lady Vivian. 2, 10, 1 and 9 for me, but I'm firmly with Maddie in the Catalina Del Carpio. Paddy Toomey, he bred a Group 1 winner when I think he was about 12 years of age. Hasn't had a Group 1 winner at Royal Ascot yet, but he might snag this Group 2 with Catalino del Carpio. Good luck in the Riddlesdale. Showpiece event, as always, at Royal Ascot is the Gold Cup. It's 2 miles, 4 furlongs, round about 4,000 metres. It's a historic race. They've run this race since 1807. Aidan O'Brien has won it 9 times, looking for his 10th success, 4 of them from the mighty Yates. Let's have a look at a fairly small but select field. Coltrane is getting on in years, but he's got a very good record at Royal Ascot. Dubai Future is even older at 9, and he hasn't shown European form for quite some time. Sweet William ran very well in this race for 3rd last year. Behind is stablemate Trawlerman, who's 7, but no Kyprios this year, and Trawlerman is a big player. Wonder Legend has been thriving on artificial surfaces. Yashin seemed to improve here at Ascot last time. Candelari is a potential strong improver from France. And could we have a new star stayer coming through from Ballydoyle, Aidan O'Brien, Ryan Moore, and Illinois? I'm going to deal with a couple of old Ascot favourites here. Let's run the VT for last year's Gold Cup. Top quality stayer wins the race, Kyprios. He's been retired with injury since. And in his absence, have a look at Trawlerman, who keeps Kyprios honest all the way through the final furlong. Sweet William back in 3rd. No reason to think that Trawlerman isn't as good as ever based on his recent emphatic Sandown win. Let's pick up same 2 horses in a different race. Long Distance Cup on softish ground last October. And this time it is Sweet William who gives best to Kyprios, with Trawlerman back in a minor role. So there are 2 key horses here. We've got Trawlerman rated 118, Sweet William rated 117, and they're both proven under these conditions. But we have some new shooters here. Matty Plale, I want to throw you this French horse, Candelari. He's by Frankel. He's only had 5 runs, but a horse called Courage Mon Ami was by Frankel, and he'd only had 3 runs when he won the Gold Cup. You like Candelari, don't you?
Oh, I'm a really big fan of this horse, Graham. Look at the race. I mean, who's the best horse in there? Well, on the weight, it's Candelari rated 118, the same as Trawlerman, but he gets a pound from him. And as you say, you mentioned some of the horses' ages in there, 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, 7-year-olds. This horse is only 4. He's been brought through the ranks very carefully by his trainer, Francis-Henri Graffard, who knows what it takes to win here. Showed a good level of form, has beat Double Major several times. He's one of France's really good stayers. Notched a first Group 1 in the Prix Vinkmes Vija last time. The Arc 5th Savannah Star was behind him, so that's a decent level of form. I think he's going to get even better. I think he's going to blow them away, actually, on Thursday. Yeah.
5 words of caution from the trainer for you. He must have good ground. By middle of Thursday afternoon, the temperatures here are going to be steamy. That is a bit of a concern. Simon, this is a riveting Gold Cup with the absence of the potential banker Kyprios. What's your winner?
Well, of course, Kyprios leaves big boots to fill. I think Illinois can fill those boots for Ballydoyle. He tuned up very pleasingly indeed with a nice win under a penalty in the Ormond. We know he stays. We know he's got all the quality. Look at that CV. He's produced some really big performances, this horse, and I think he'll thrive out there and give Aidan number 10.
Yeah, I agree with him. By Galileo, out of Daydream, who shattered the clock, broke the track record by miles when she won the King George here. And look who he's been second to over middle distances. Second to Los Angeles, Jan Bruegel, Sozi, the best older horse in France. And have a look, if you will, last time out, he went to Chester and he beat Al Karim, who franked that form at York at the weekend. Stamina is a concern. He's never been beyond 2 miles before, but I think he's cut from the right cloth. His Vars win here, he edged left a bit last year, but it was a handsome success. These horses, as Matty touched on, are very tightly matched on ratings, but I am a big Illinois fan. Let's wrap up the 1, 2, 3, and 4 for the Gold Cup, please, Simon.
Well, yes, to confirm, it's number 8, Illinois, for me to win the Gold Cup. Number 7, Candelari. Only defeat came in a muddling race. I think he's all about stamina. I think he will stay and run a big race. And numbers 4 and 3, Trawlerman and Sweet William. How can you keep them out of the equation?
Well, when it comes down to who is open to the most improvement, Graham, I think that goes down to Candelari. He's just got a really eye-catching profile. He's on top for me, the French horse, number 7, followed by 8, Illinois, for the reasons mentioned, 4 and 6.
I was very reluctant to desert Trawlerman. In the absence of Kyprios, he's a perfectly viable winner of this race. But Illinois, has a tremendously progressive, consistent record. I think he'll stay the trip, and I think he's open to more improvement from the old boys. So it's 8, 4, 3, and 7. No Kyprios, no problem. This is a compelling Gold Cup. Race 5 on Gold Cup Day at Royal Ascot is the Britannia Stakes. It's a 1,600-metre straight mile handicap for 3-year-olds, a race with a terrific pathway towards Hong Kong. Last year's winner, Mickley, Thesis, Defrocked, Born in Bombay, all did good things in Hong Kong after winning this race. Quick word on the draw, folks. High has been the way to go. In the last 5 years, 20 horses have finished in the first 4. Only 3 of them were drawn in single figures. Keep that in mind as we go down the card. Number 2 is Labotte, and Maddie likes that horse at a big price. Arabian Story is a Sheen Murphy and Godolphin, but I'm not sure he's well handicapped. Taroom might be. He's improving all the time. Win recently. Mr. Chaplin got stuck in a pocket last time out at Goodwood. Consolidation has a low draw, but he also has a turn of foot and a very, very progressive profile. God of War ran very well first time out this season. Fear Not, we'll see in a moment. His Ascot form is persuasive. Keep an eye on number 20, Shameful. I really like the way he shaped in Ireland last time. Shout has Ascot form. Parole Doro is on the up, and Brave Mission is another with Ascot form. I think we'll head to you, Maddie, first, because Fear Not, course, distance, emphatic win. What's not to like?
Exactly, Graham. And a few of the horses I'm going to talk about have links to Docklands, who won this race in 2023. It was very impressive. And Fear Not won the same race this we're seeing at Ascot last time. Just deeply, deeply impressive. Admittedly, that was off a £10 lower mark, so he's got more on his plate this time. But we saw Docklands contend with a similar rise, and I think this horse has plenty more to give for Clive Cox.
Another piece of galloping action at Ascot recently. Came over a slightly shorter trip, 1,400 metres, but 2 horses to put under the spotlight here, Simon Mapletoft, both running well for 2nd and 3rd. Brave Mission in the Juddmonte colours, and a horse called Shout, who you're going to give a shout to.
I certainly am, yeah. Brave Mission, first of all. I thought it was a very pleasing return to action from that horse, and only nudged up a pound, so it should be very competitive. But I think with a clean start, Shout would have come out on top. He really blew the start that day, but gives the impression that this first step up to a mile, Graham, will really be tailor-made for him. I like that angle, and I like the visor as well. I think he'll be a big player here.
Okay, we've seen the videos. It's a massively competitive race. Put it in a nutshell for us, Simon. Give us your numbers for the Britannia Handicap.
Well, keen on Shout, yes, but I think Taroom is the likely winner of this for Roger Verin. Roger does so well in laying these types of horses out for handicaps. He's not only progressive, but this horse has a tough attitude. He's a real street fighter, just what you need in a big cut and thrust field like this. So number 8, Taroom for me. For the placings, 27 fifth column, 18 Fear Not, and of course number 22 Shout.
Maddie, I think your fancy is going to be a big price here.
Yeah, could be. I'm with the Harry Eustace team, who, as I say, won this with Docklands. They've laid out Labotte for this, a classy horse, eye-catching on debut at Kempton. Then a very impressive winner of 4th last time in a listed race behind Cosmic Year. That form's probably not too bad. He's got a mark of 99, but I think he could be a very, very nice horse in time. Totally unexposed. So he's on top for me, number 2. He's got a good draw as well. 30. You like high draws, Graham, so he satisfies that statistic. Followed by 18 Fear Not, 8 and 23.
Not mad about the draw for my fancy, Shameful, but I'm not about to desert him. He's only had 3 runs. Came up against a good one, Marvel Man at Kempton. Went to Ireland, was very well back for a good handicap, but it had rained hard and he found himself a bit away from the action. He still ran very well. I'm going to go with Shameful on top. That's 20 Shameful, 26 Parole Doro, 12 Consolidation, who showed a good turn of foot at Goodwood. And Simon's fancy, number 8 Taroom, in for 4th. A fiendishly difficult Britannia. However you play it with the Whirlpool, I wish you the best. Race 6 on Gold Cup dates, the Hampton Court Stakes. Good race for 3-year-olds, 2,000 metres on the round course. Got a pretty rich heritage. Russian Emperor, Hong Kong's champion stayer, has won this in the past. Time Test, Cannock Chase, down the card. Arabian Force is interesting. He's got plenty to find on the form book, but he could have run in a handicap. Haggis sends him here. Detain has a very high rating. He's running 2 French Classics and run really well, but he's coming back quickly. Glittering Legend is thriving. High Stock is a horse I think a few of us have a lot of time for. Jackknife is a gorgeous looker, lightly raced and on the up. Further down, we've got Tornado Alert, who ran in the Guineas and the Derby here in England, and Trinity College, who ran very well in the French Derby. We'll keep this brief. Simon Mapletoft, make your case.
Well, I think Andrew Balding will have a good day. High Stock represents him, a horse who won the Wood Ditton and then was fast-tracked into the D Stakes at Chester, ran a super race for just such an inexperienced horse to be second to Mount Kilimanjaro. I think he's primed to take this event.
Jackknife's one of my favourite horses in training at the minute, Graham. Related to Roger Varian's Defoe, the Group 1 winner. A great debut to win at Epsom. Then third last time in the Heron Stakes. Didn't get the rub of the green there. This step-up trip's going to suit him. I really like Jackknife.
Need to cover Detain. Some people would say, why? No love for Detain. He was pretty unlucky 2 starts ago in the French Guineas. He ran very well in the French Derby, but he's back just 18 days later. I'm not mad about fast ground for him. I do like High Stock. I think he's well regarded. I think he's improving fast. Just the right type for this race. So if you will, Simon, sum up your numbers for the Hampton Court.
Well, no doubt for me, number 7, High Stock, is the one they've all got to beat. 8, Jackknife, 3, Detain, I can see making the frame, and 14, Trinity College.
Jackknife, one of the best looking horses in training, I'd argue. I have him on top to perform up to that level. 8, followed by 3, 14 and 7.
I could be cruising for a bruising in opposing Detain, but I'm going to do that. I like High Stock. He's number 7. 14, Trinity College, ran an excellent race. Close up in the French Derby. 5, Glittering Legend, has a great attitude. And 8, Jackknife, for the reasons outlined by Maddie Plale. This is the Hampton Court. Any number of possibles here. The nightcap on day 3 at Royal Ascot Gold Cup Day, of course, is the Buckingham Palace Stakes. It's a 1,400-metre handicap on the straight course. Keep in mind the draw in this race. Winners of late, drawn 26, 24, 2. They all went up the centre that year, 31 and 26. 17 of the last 20 horses in the frame of this race have been drawn 15 plus. Keep that in mind as we go down the card. Roi de France is drawn 22, and he's a very smart horse. Never So Brave is drawn 28, and he is bang in form. Northern Express is drawn 18, and he ran very well in this race last year. Mayal has been a money spinner, drawn 30. English Oak bolted up in this race last year. He's drawn 27. Is he in the same form? Oliver Show is quirky, but very capable, and he's drawn 26. There's a pattern developing here. No Retreat, hello, right on the far side in 1. Next door to number 23, Run by Run. Mersky is fresh from an Epsom win, and Gleneagle Bay is an improver, but with a low draw in stall 9. We have video here. We have one very key piece of form. It is last year's Buckingham Palace. English Oak bolted up. Billy Joel was 2nd. Northern Express was 5th. Divine Libra was 6th. Take it away, Maddie Plale.
Yeah, I can't get this performance out of my mind for English Oak. Just how powerful he was in the finish. Clearly miles ahead of his mark, and he's now just £1 higher. They popped the cheek pieces on, looking for some more improvement. His 6th to My Cloud last time. That form's going to be advertised this week. Was a step back in the right direction. Lovely draw in 27. He's got a lot in his favour.
Been 27 lengths in 3 runs this year, Simon. I've got reservations about English Oak this time around. I don't have reservations about Gleneagle Bay other than the draw. When we pick up the Victoria Cup, in which he finished 3rd, Roi de France back in 6th, also running well. Keep your eye on the near side of the pack here, Simon. Gleneagle Bay travelled like a horse who's still on the upgrade, I thought.
Oh, didn't he just? He travelled supremely well through the race. Another horse who I think will be well suited by the dynamics of this event. And in the end, he went down by an agonising short neck. It was a mighty performance. He was well fancied for the race beforehand, well touted. Couldn't quite pull it off. But, you know, sometimes there's an advantage in getting beaten. The advantage is that he went up £3 for not winning, and that £3 gets him into this today.
Okay. To you, Maddie. Give me 1 or 2 more horses very quickly who we should keep an eye on here.
Yeah, I like Mersky, 8th in the Balmoral here. He loves a big handicap. He's thriving at the moment. Such a good win at Epsom last time. Think there's more potential in his mark. 50 Nifty, ignore his last run, but before that is building a progressive profile. And Divine Libra, as you say in the earlier replay, Graham, 6th last year. He's now £1 lower. I think this horse has a bigger performance in him.
Simon, give me 1 more horse to keep an eye on, and then your numbers, please.
Yeah, I think it's got to be Billy Joe. I think he ran a super race to make the frame in this last year off a very similar mark. He has got a low draw, but you might want to put some low-drawn horses into the equation, and he would have to be one. So 26, Gleneagle Bay is the winner for me. For the places, 29, Billy Joe, 3, Never So Brave, and 24, Arcadian Thunder.
I'm hoping history is going to repeat itself, Graham. I am having to put a bit of trust in English Oak, but on the figures, he's certainly got an awful lot in his favour. So it's 12 on top for me, followed by 25, 27 and 28. High draw's the place to be, I think.
Might be. This Irish handler, young up-and-coming handler, Stephen Thorne, has laid Gleneagle Bay out for this race. Think he's on the right track. Big chance. Number 3, Never So Brave, is banging form after being beaten that far at Chester. 1, Roi de France, caught the eye in the Victoria Cup. And 14, number 14, Oliver Shaw. He's tricky, snakes around a little bit when he sees the front, but he's very talented. 26-3, 1 and 14 in the Buckingham Palace.